This episode is brought to you by Watchman Cigars, 1812 Barbecue, Webmerized website design, Blue Collar Motorcycle Shop, and Hook, Line, and Heroes. Without you, this show would not be possible. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast, where it's our take on life, liberty, and the pursuit of gravy, and you, the listener, are getting a degree in common sense. We are broadcasting from the Blue Collar Cycle Studio right here in beautiful Concord, North Carolina. I, of course, be your host, Biggin, and how about you? We've got a great show lined up for you, as always, but before we begin, let me introduce you to the rest of the team. Of course, on my left, your right on the radio dial is producer Brian.
Hey, guys.
And across the way sits the pride of Anderson, South Carolina, but most of you probably know him best as the Silver Tongue one, 2016's Honorable Mention Ninja of the Year, the inventor of the Redneck Egg Roll. Give it up on old mic number one. It's Mojo!
So a friend of mine went to a gender reveal party this past week.
How about you?
When it was time to reveal the gender, he was the only one who dropped his pants.
Oh,
welcome to the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. You can find us on the iTunes, Apple, Stitcher, Google Play. I'm getting them all mixed up. Basically, wherever you listen to your podcast, you're more than welcome to go there, hit a like, subscribe, give us a review. We really appreciate that. You can also find us on the Facebooks at Southern Fried Philosophy. Also on the Twitters and Instagram at SFP Radio. Also our YouTube channel, YouTube.com/SFP Radio. And please do not forget patreon.com/SFP Radio. And your donations may be tax deductible. Just kidding.
We did a 401c element OP. We filled that out.
Right.
Paperwork on that. You may not be getting any receipts.
You should have filed a nonprofit.
I should have, because we clearly are nonprofit. We are making no profit. I'm going to ask you like I ask you every week, Mojo, how be doing?
Well, I can finally fit back in my pants that I was wearing pre-Thanksgiving.
Good for you.
Yeah, so it's been good.
So that's why you turned down the old Popeyes when I was trying to.
I had to because I gained a few pounds. I'm trying to get back down a little bit to my my MMA debut.
Sure, your ninja days.
And don't be going ninja. Nobody don't be ninja. But just good. Just busy. You know, this is a holiday season,
sure.
So. Everybody has all kinds of committals and non-committals and things you got to go to. And,
the Christmas parties.
Yeah. Well, like my wife, we got to drive down and have family photo shoot Saturday or Sunday,
buddy.
One of the two. Then we got to go by and see my parents, which is, a ball of fun. And then, we got to drive. We're on our way back. We're going to stop in McAdenville. So if you don't know where McAdenville is, the listeners, it's kind of like Christmas Town, USA. The whole town.
Sure.
It's the place where all the cars stop on I-85.
Yeah, and cause congestion. But yeah, so but it's actually pretty cool. McAdenville is just south of Charlotte, and it's an old mill hill town. Coincidentally, my father lived there, and grandfather, they worked in a mill there. But anyway, so this town is an old mill hill town, and so all the houses are kind of cookie cutter type houses. But a pretty cool little community, and the story goes is the mill owner was a big fan of Christmas and planting Christmas trees in everybody's yard, and he would have them decorate the trees every year and pay their power bill for the month of December. So it's a pretty cool little experience. You go through. Fire station out has some probably hot cocoa and apple cider. I'm too much in a hurry to stop anytime with the kids because they're crazy. But just that busy time of year.
Yeah.
So how you be doing?
I'm good. I am now back to work.
Oh.
I had 2 months off, and now I returned to work. God, that's fun. Man, I missed you.
I can see the joy. I can see the joy in your eyes.
Yeah. It just doesn't work, But now I've got it burned like a lot of vacation, because I didn't use any while I was, on leave. So now I liken it to I'm like landing a jet where I hit the runway, but then I bounce for a little bit because I'm like off on, because I'm, trying to use all this vacation time. So then I'm not really back to work, but I'm sliding back into work.
Just don't make any skid marks.
Well, I probably did when I saw my 4,000 emails that I missed for 2 months.
So you really did unplug.
Hey, buddy. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Even when we take off, we don't take off, So
Yeah.
I commend you on that. That's awesome.
Well, and part of it is my wife told me, like, your access is taken out. Like, you can't even log on.
So they're serious about it.
But I could have, but I just didn't.
Well, it's good for you, though.
Fun.
You got to spend time with a small batch and
Yeah.
bond and lose sleep and everything. So,
yeah.
Of course, that doesn't change going back to work.
Sure. Yeah. And the wife is starting her leave in January. So now we're trying to figure out this December thing where I'm working and we're taking care of her at the same time. So now we look at our meetings and like, when can you take her and when can I take her and all that kind of stuff. So
that's cool, though.
Hey, buddy.
That's cool.
Producer Brian, how you doing?
I'm good. I have a question for you guys.
Sure.
Is there a piece of furniture in your house that is used solely for piling things on?
It's called the treadmill.
For example, I have a treadmill and a laundry chair. I was just curious, like
it's pretty much anything from inside the doorway.
Oh,
it is pretty much anything.
Any flat surface? Is that one of those kinds?
No, that's not even a requirement. Yeah.
Oh,
the 7-year-old just the floor's perfect, couch, stairs. My wife, wherever she walks,
just pile stuff on her. Yeah, I'm just curious because my wife's been seeing these memes that go around. Like, there's this, we have a laundry chair. So, like, it's 10 o'clock. I'm tired. That's what the laundry ended up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing this right now.
Yeah, we have a recliner in our room that ends up with towels and white clothes because no one likes to, do socks.
Yeah.
So
it's all the clothes.
Yeah,
so the chair gets really high, and then we run out of clothes. So we have to fold all the stuff on the chair.
Yeah.
And then wash.
Actually, if you reach from the bottom of the pile, the laundry pile works like a compost heap. So usually that stuff on the bottom is where it kind of has some radiant heat. You just pull it out. It's already folded. It's not wrinkled.
It's not wrinkled. Well, it might have a crease in the wrong spot or something right down the middle.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But maybe I wonder if you could do that, like market a furniture brand as the laundry chair.
Yeah, like have it built, like have high back, like a big arms or something, or like a kind of a scoop so stuff doesn't fall off the front.
You can do it in different family sizes, like family of 3, family of 4.
Oh, you have like a love seat if you have 4 people in your house, maybe, and then those big like wraparound couches if you have like 8 kids.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like the Duggars.
Yeah,
Billy Mays here with your laundry chair.
Exactly.
The Consuela family is like a party of 8.
Yeah. So wow. So you just have an old chair dedicated to the laundry.
Well, I put it in there because I thought I might sit there and like read or just sit.
Extra floor space.
Yeah, there was a corner and looked, hey, it's a chair. It was one of my mom's. It wasn't even a new chair. It was an old chair.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, I like that chair. Let me just put it in my bedroom. I haven't sat in that thing in 3 years.
Because you got laundry on it.
Yeah, there's always laundry on it.
Maybe we could do that with our kids. Be like, we're gifting you this chair for your complimentary laundry chair.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a great wedding gift. Here's your laundry chair.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great idea. I think we should start this trend. Hashtag laundry chair.
Yeah. Maybe have like some sock embroidered on it or something.
Ooh, that's all fancy.
Yeah.
I do want to say shout out to our listener from Indianapolis. We always go down in order. Now we're at letter I. And the only one we got is Indianapolis.
Well, we had somebody from Ithaca once upon a time.
We did.
Yeah.
We're going to also add Indian Trail, even though it wasn't on the thing. I know there's somebody from Indian Trail. All right. So let's do a fact check / follow-up. How was your all's Thanksgiving?
Wonderful, I think. I mean, this was probably... We do a Friendsgiving every year. You were there, your family. So we always do for the last 4 years. I had it wrong. I said 3rd annual. It's actually the 4th annual Friendsgiving. So we've been doing that for 4 years because we can't get back to our family. I mean, anyone in the Charlotte area is not from Charlotte. Mm-hmm. Everybody, well, except for you.
I'm from here.
Yeah. You're close by. So most people aren't from here. You're kind of
I'm weird. I know it.
You're the minority here.
Yeah, I know.
You're a protected class. So, but yeah, we do this Friendsgiving. So this one was kind of, I think we divided like who brought And I got to compliment my wife on that because she gave people like things to bring, things like that. So, and we didn't over prepare, overcook. We didn't really stress ourselves out. But we divided and conquered pretty good. And it was amazing, I thought.
Yeah.
Great turnout, as always, and great food, great fellowship. And I got to love on small batch a lot, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, people probably thought I was hogging her, but that's okay. I could care less.
Who cares?
That's why I carry brass knuckles.
I will say I am disappointed for also the fourth year in a row. I did not get the redneck egg rolls that I've been promised.
It's a myth.
For 4 years.
It's a myth.
So we may just take that out of the whole intro. I think it's not even real. It's a unicorn.
I've seen them. I had some in Mount Pleasant when I was down there. Yeah.
But not his.
They weren't his. I
Who's
mean,
the
but they
inventor
were
of them?
quote unquote red.
it.
They were redneck egg rolls, as they said.
Hmm.
I forget what was in them. I think a little different composition than the mythic ones. But the real ones were quite tasty.
All right, I'll see if I can make some this weekend.
By the way, you said that you didn't stress and over prepare. My wife made 2 batches of her dressing. And good gosh, did we eat on that for quite a while?
That stuff stretches, man.
It does. Also, it stretches in your stomach.
It was good though. Her dressing's a little variation of traditional, so that's why I like it.
Yep.
My daughter, who is on this fake vegetarian diet, wanted dressing also. So, your wife has sausage in it, which sausage makes everything better.
Sure.
I had to make some vegetarian stuffing at the last minute, and I think 1 scoop is missing out of the whole pan. Is still sitting in the fridge, and it probably will remain in there till I think I'm just going to freeze it and just repurpose it next year for Thanksgiving.
You're ready to go for next year.
Yeah, it'll be freezer burnt, but it'll be all right.
Producer Brian, you had a plethora of things going on a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
and you survived.
I survived. Yeah, I'm still here.
You had Friendsgiving also at your house.
Oh yeah, well the Friendsgiving wasn't at my house. It was actually someone else's house.
Okay,
I had a birthday party the same day, and we decided maybe that's a bad idea to have 40 people in my house and then have like 25 people in my house 3 hours later.
I could not imagine the turnaround on that.
Yeah, but I did make a turkey for that, and then I made the turkey again Thursday. I do host Thanksgiving for my family.
Okay,
every year. I have the kind of the best space for it.
Mm-hmm.
Some folks travel. Most of us are pretty local, but I've been eating pie at least once a day for a week now.
And the problem being?
I mean, they're different pies. It's just, I love pie. So it's
kind
worked
of
out
pies
great.
We got?
Well, okay. So let me think. Usually I make, when we did the Thanksgiving episode, I talked about the pumpkin cheesecake. I actually opted out of that because of the work. And no one said a thing. But I made I made 2 pumpkin pies. And I left all the spices out of one of them. Like, I have a picture of just like, I did them all in the little container because I was going to do it 2 at a time, and my daughter was helping me. And I pulled one out of the oven, and I look over, and there's this little dish with like the cinnamon and all the stuff.
Sprinkle it.
Nutmeg, yeah. So I'm like, okay. So I have one of those that I haven't touched yet. It's probably going to taste more like a sweet potato pie than a pumpkin pie, but it's got the sugars in there, the cream's in there.
Okay,
it's going to be okay. It's just not going to have any of those pie spices.
What you look for in those pies? That's what you look for those spices.
It's going to be more like a vegetable pie, I think, with some sugar in it. But there was chocolate pie.
Okay,
it's my grandmother's recipe that's been passed down. Basically, really thick, like chocolate pudding.
Come on with it.
Someone bought a pecan pie. Who makes that? And I love pecan pie. There's nut allergies in my house, so I'm the only one that will touch it.
Nice.
So I've eaten it for breakfast twice.
Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Add some bourbon to that pecan pie. Hey, buddy.
Finished off the broccoli casserole today, which wasn't the best. I didn't make the broccoli casserole, so it wasn't good. But I finished it. Nice. I threw out the last 2 deviled eggs today because it's been a week.
I can see
it's
that.
kind of doing the eggs is kind of.
There was a little color happening there. I was like, let's play this on the safe side.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think I'm almost done with the mac and cheese they got. My aunt brought food, and she brought them in like the deep 9x13, like the 4 by 9x13.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Just like 4 green bean casserole recipes and like 4 mac and cheese recipes. She put like some cheese department out of business, probably.
Just probably trying to feed. It's like feeding at a homeless shelter or a soup kitchen or something like that, just for the masses.
We didn't eat. I mean, we had there was plenty of food. Everyone ate, but not like that.
Yeah.
We had 2 turkeys. So.
Mojo, what was the worst cooking mistake that you've ever had? You said you didn't add the spices and whatnot. What was your worst cooking
for
mistake?
Thanksgiving?
For any time.
Oh.
And while you're thinking about that, I'll tell you, my wife, we were doing a bake sale, a church bake sale. She was going to make the pecan pies. And she was getting all the ingredients, baked them, sold them. We made a pretty good chunk of money, for the youth while I was a youth pastor. And then somebody called and said, "Hey, just heads up. I know you made 2 of these pies. We started to eat it. I think you mistook the sugar for salt."
Mm.
You might want to call the other person and let them know, heads up. They've got a salty pecan pie. So that was the worst, I think, that we made as a family.
I can't think of anything really. The only thing I could think of is maybe the execution. Like, execution in the restaurant world would be like not having enough food prepared for like a busy day. Oh yeah. Well, thanks. My wife just sent me this. Probably the worst execution personally is we first got married. I don't think we had a working stove. That's right. So we had a 2-hour burner because we bought this house that didn't have a stove, so we had to go buy one. We were poor, so we had a 2-hour burner that was lent to us. Well, I decided to do like a romantic Valentine's Day, and one of her favorite dishes was chicken broccoli Alfredo. So I decided to make this chicken broccoli Alfredo. Well, 2-hour burner got really hot and it spilled over the Alfredo sauce over the side of the pot because you got to watch, Alfredo sauce when you're making it. So it just stank up the house. It smelled like rotten curdled milk when she came in, and fire departments were flying over, dropping buckets of water and stuff like that.
So needless to say, there's probably no hello time that night. That would have made it smell
probably
worse.
not. I think we were so exhausted from trying to clean up the mess.
I understand. All right, so let's go into some wacky news brought to you by 1812 Barbecue. If you need a fantastic caterer at a great price with some amazing food, please check out our friends at 1812 Barbecue. The headline on this tells all that we need to know. Amazon customer orders an Apple Watch and gets a $5 plunger instead.
$5 plunger.
$5 plunger.
I think there's been some mishaps with all kinds of shipping stuff. My wife always sends me pictures of she works for a major company, and she always gets the opposing company's products in her shipments.
No.
Like, how does that happen?
What?
Did you see about the one with the guy got an AR-15 or whatever from Goodwill?
It was a baby shower gift. And it ended up being a AR-15, like you were saying.
Right. That's mispackaging there.
A London man ordered an Apple Watch from the popular website, but the shipment arrived. He was in for a surprise. Apparently, somebody at Amazon made a bit of a mistake. John Brown took advantage of the Black Friday sale to purchase a model Apple Watch for $387. The British news reported. Unfortunately, he received a $5 plunger. This was his statement. It was a pre-Christmas treat for myself, and I have wanted one for a long time. I waited for Black Friday specifically, and it was a calculated move on my part. It got delivered to me at work, and I went down to collect it at reception. I opened it in front of the reception staff, and they started howling in laughter. They were in absolute hysterics, but I was absolutely fuming, and I had to hold it back in front of them. I was very annoyed, and I was dreading the impending faff to get it all sorted out with Amazon.
A British word.
It's a British word. So a couple of things. One, why are you saying it's a pre-Christmas treat? Just say you wanted to buy the watch.
Look, British people can take something that's an utter disaster and make it sound like a Shakespearean tragedy. So I would. You could have an absolutely disastrous experience, and they can make it sound like an absolutely polite thing. And
that is
insult
true.
You.
Yep. The other thing is, why are you going to open it up in front of the reception staff?
Okay, so my problem here is how big was the box? Because the Apple Watch box is 6x6 maybe, if that.
Yeah.
Like a cube.
But you know
shape.
Amazon sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So the plunger was just with the stick missing from the plunger? Or was it just the...
It was, the stick was, you had to...
BYO stick?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, it was, no.
The plunger head.
The plunger head and the stick were separated. And you had to like screw the stick into the
but
plunger.
the boxes...
But
there's some size description. I know Amazon will put an ink pen in a refrigerator box.
Yes, they will. And so I can maybe understand that part.
Maybe I just corrected my own comment.
Oh, but I mean, yeah, there's been some goofs lately, my friends. I've
had goofs, but I will say the good thing about Amazon is they'll fix it pretty quickly.
The problem with his is the exact model and the color when he went to go reorder it.
Sale
sold out.
And the sale was probably only like $5 off because
$387. What's the normal Apple
probably
Watch?
$399.
The regular price, depending on the size, is they start at $349. So if it's like the bigger one, which is most dudes would wear,
right,
it's like $400 watch.
So he's
save $13,
and that's as far. And for an Apple sale, like you can't buy, depending on the series. We can get into this, but they don't go on sale. Like you.
Just use your education.
This once a year that you might get a discount. It's right now if you would get one $25.
You're in Apple World and you're worried about $13.
Yeah.
I mean, everything in Apple World costs 47 times what it's worth to make.
Probably.
Sure.
Just doing my math.
But it's worth it.
The 1812 barbecue story started over 20 years ago when Eric and his dad started entering local barbecue competitions for fun. During that time, Eric, a United States Marine, has traveled all over the world picking up flavors and techniques that today is the unique flavor of the award-winning 1812 barbecue. He has honed his craft to bring you fall-off-the-bone pulled pork, mouth-watering ribs, and finely crafted beef brisket. Eric has developed his own amazing dry rub and delicious barbecue sauce. And let's not forget the sides: coleslaw, smoked Gouda mac and cheese, cowboy baked beans, and to top it all off, banana pudding and pecan pie for dessert. Getting hungry yet? Good. Call or email Eric at 1812barbecue and he can make your next catered meal happen. Wedding and graduation parties, family reunions, and other events will be memorable with 1812 barbecue. Want to try your own hand at smoking meats? Pick up your own 1812 dry rub and start the journey for yourself. Shipping all over the world, connect with Eric on his Facebook page, Instagram at 1812barbecue, or call 704-604-5148, or email Eric at eric.line@1812barbecue.com, and he'll be glad to help any way he can. Speaking of things that are worth it, have you guys heard about this, and I'm going to use this with kid gloves as possibly as I can.
Don't worry, I'll rip those right off for you.
There's another word we probably want to stay away from. This sun tanning your bum hole.
That's the sound you decided to choose for.
This is evidently a popular trend now in Hollywood.
It's a health trend, I believe. It's like exfoliates or something.
Y'all.
Yeah.
We ain't got nothing better to do. The pictures that I've seen of people doing this, it's insane. People laying on their back with their legs up to the sun, trying to suntan their sphincter.
Well, it's called perineum sunning.
Yeah. Y'all.
Sound fancy.
It's probably British. Actor Josh Brolin reveals the crazy sunburn after trying the new butt sunning trend. Now, I
love this. Okay.
Keep in mind, also, this is Thanos from the end.
He's been in a lot of great movies outside of the Marvel stuff.
So he's making his brown eye browner.
But
it went pink, I believe.
Did you also know that he played Bran on Goonies?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the crazy thing. You look at way back. He's been around forever. He's a good actor. He's done a lot of great movies. But his response to this just made me laugh.
Remember just a few days ago when it was revealed to the world that people are actually exposing their bum holes to the sun. Now it seems like celebrities are hopping on the butt sunning bandwagon, and they're getting some painful results. Josh Brolin, one of the stars of the Avengers Endgame, revealed on Instagram that he recently told that he tried the trend, and the 51-year-old actor suggested that people do not try this at home. He said, I tried this perineum sunning that I've been hearing about, and my suggestion is do not do it as long as I did. The 51-year-old captioned an image previously posted by influencer Metaphysical Megan. Man, I need to talk to that person. He said, my pucker hole is crazy burned, and I was going to spend the day shopping with my family, and instead I'm icing and using aloe and burn creams because of the severity of the pain. He continued, I don't know who the F thought of this stupid S, but F you nonetheless. Seriously, he completed his rant, adding the next level humor of hashtags, hashtag Black Hole Friday, hashtag Black Hole Sun, hashtag severe perineum burns, hashtag Santa Monica Fire Department, and butthole care. As a dermatologist, I do not recommend any sun exposure without sun protection, Nazim Saeed, MD, said. Also said Dr. David Bank, this could cause skin cancer.
Hollywood has some of the most cutting-edge technology in the world.
Sure. I mean...
But also they have the weirdest health trends that just need to be buried. Like, remember when Gwyneth Paltrow came out with the vaginal steaming? And doctors were like, hold up here. That's not as what it's there for. Your body's natural. Or, they come out with like drinking like all kinds of crazy juices. And,
yeah.
But meanwhile, in Southern California, people literally crap on the streets. So California's crazy town.
So do you think he didn't use any kind of sun cream
maybe he went and grabbed for the sun tanning oil.
Yeah, but like Crisco or something.
Yeah, like bronzing like a Thanksgiving turkey.
Because, I do not tan, first of all.
Okay. Yeah, I burn.
I know if I were to get in this position in the sun for more than 60 seconds, I'd be in the same situation.
Sure.
So I'd be putting like a tub of sour cream on my butt or something just to keep the sun off.
Sure.
But you can't be. When I saw the first article before Josh Brolin chimed in about it,
I just want to know, did he prepare ahead of time? Like, did he do the old Brazilian down there? What did he do? Did he?
you get a base tan first before you go do that?
Yeah.
You would think that would have been, the smart thing to do.
Me and my luck, I tried on the beach and just get sand in my crack first, and then sand with a burn with just salt water. Oh, man.
He's probably like sitting on the Hollywood sign or something, just like
owning it.
Yeah.
Too bad he couldn't snap his fingers to make it go away. God, I don't understand y'all. I really don't.
I don't think there is any understanding of California. Literally, we have no.
Here's something I saw on the internet. Let me go try it right now.
Yeah. All right. So, where do we go from here?
Did you guys see the Krispy Kreme truck and the police officer's reaction to it? Or the spill? Did you guys see that
article? There was a spill of the Krispy Kreme donuts.
I did not see that.
Yeah, down in Georgia, apparently there was an accident, and let me pull it up here real quick. The police officers were quite upset that the Krispy Kreme truck, its goods were spilled all over the highway.
Did they use the criminal tape around it?
So here's the article.
Okay.
A police department in Atlanta suburb has asked for, quote, thoughts and prayers Tuesday after 911 call summoned officers to the scene of total carnage. A spilled load of Krispy Kreme donuts. Just moments ago, the Brookhaven police officers answered the call each of them had feared most. Dozens of donuts had fallen off a truck across the Peachtree Road to right outside.
Well, everything's named Peachtree.
Yeah, everything's Peachtree. But they all rushed to the scene. They found total carnage, donuts scattered along the curb and the gutter.
No.
Yeah, they were quite distraught.
Sure.
And apparently people have been sending the police department donuts as
nice
as condolences.
So, I thought that was funny.
What would be funny is if they did chalk outlines of the donuts all around everywhere. I think that would have been funny. Yeah, crime scene tape. If you're in the market for a high-quality cigar for a very reasonable price, you must check out our friends at Watchman Cigars. Watchman Cigars is a family-owned business that puts the customer first with the best customer service in the business. Watchman Cigars offers the Habano for a full, spicy flavor, the Connecticut for a mild, easy-to-smoke option, and the Maduro for a strong, powerful experience. They even do specialty blends and partner with you to provide a custom, exclusive line just for you. Watchman Cigars has all your cigar needs. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Watchman Cigars 1991, or check out his new website at watchmancigars.com or the sponsor section of our website.
Well, we can talk about, have you guys seen the new slogan by presidential candidate Joe Biden?
I haven't.
So his new slogan is "No Malarkey." So I guess
is there a candidate named Malarkey?
Well, here's my question. When I first saw this, I'm like, nothing speaks louder to a millennial generation of voters when you're trying to seduce them, because that's what Creepy Joe is, basically seducing voters to him.
Use relevant language, right?
Yeah. Is use relevant language to their time. Malarkey. Sure. I mean, I have to constantly get on my teenager for saying malarkey all the time. I mean, yeah, this guy can he get any creepier?
Did you see? And I wish I had the art.
Something about his wife. What was that?
His wife had her finger out.
Sticking her finger out at a campaign rally, I think.
And he sucked on it. and then I saw today that he was doing a speech for somebody, like where he grew up, and he was talking about where he grew up. He used to go to the pool, and kids would rub their hands up and down his legs.
Wet, hairy legs. And then he said, I love it when boys jump on my lap. And now those young boys are now men, and I love those men. And you're just like, Joe,
Stop.
What are you doing?
Here's the thing. Everyone that I know is a never Trumper is always constantly worried about what he's going to say. I mean, just imagine this guy like going and blowing in like a president's ear of another country. Or, coming up doing that backwards hug, smelling their hair. And we're worried about, this is what we're worried about,
What's that going to do for our foreign policy?
Yeah.
So what's better? Either Trump calling Kim Jong-un Rocket Man, which still owns me, by the way, or Creepy Joe coming up behind him and his face buried in that haircut of his, and he's just holding him. Oh.
Out of a nation of over 300 million people, this is what we have.
These are our leaders.
These are people that have served us for over 30 years, And I saw a great quote today. I'm like, is there any candidate out there that has convinced you to give up more control of your life?
Right.
And I'm like, no, there's no candidate at all will ever convince me of that. But that's what these people are running on. But man, I think Creepy Joe takes the cake for the most awkward moments caught on video, audio, lithograph, whatever. I mean,
no, I agree. I think second runner up was George Bush with it was just
Bushisms.
Yeah, there was like 8 years of gold.
Oh yeah,
just on that.
Great comedy. Saturday Night that made Will Ferrell's career on Saturday Night.
Part of me to be honest with you, kind of wants Joe to win just to see what happens.
No, he's going to. No,
that's what people said about Trump.
Right.
No, he's going to come up and rub like Little Kim in North Korea. He's going to come up behind him and rub his belly or something. I mean, it's
hey, little Buddha, how are you?
Yeah. And then he's going to talk about his stance on foreign policy. He's going to be like, yeah, my Corn Pop, the gangster. I'm gonna do what I did with Corn Pop, and just be like, no. Don't do that. So yeah,
because Corn Pop.
You remember that? Oh my God! Yeah, Joe was giving a stump speech, and he was talking about how he rustled up a local gangster named Corn Pop. You got to find this. You got to find the audio of Corn Pop.
Corn Pop.
I swear I haven't drunken a drop tonight, but Corn Pop is owning me right now.
If you can play it, that would be
I'm gonna see
awesome.
if I have something here. Let's see what this.
Corn Pop was a bad dude, and he ran a bunch of bad boys. And I did. And back in those days, to show how things have changed, one of the things you had to use, if you used pomade in your hair, you had to wear a bathing cap. And so he was up on the board, wouldn't listen to me. I said, "Hey, Esther, you, off the board, or I'll come up and drag you off."
Okay. So I saw the video. I was watching the video of this.
Okay.
And what you didn't see in the audio, because you can't see audio. So Biden's standing there, and he's wearing a suit, no tie.
Okay.
He's surrounded by young black people. Okay. He's giving his pep talk here. He's got like the shirt like 3 buttons undone.
Oh,
down,
hey,
like,
buddy.
His wet hairy
Hey,
chest
buddy.
hair.
slick back, like
Ooh.
it's
When did he become Southern, by the way?
oozes confidence.
Well, that's not Southern accent, buddy.
Huh?
That's not Southern accent.
He was starting to bring a little draw to it.
No, he's starting to bring the urban community draw to it.
Southern draw, yeah. Is
Corn
it keep...
Pop was a bad dude, and he
I'm going to add that soundbite. That's going to get added to my.
Oh,
soundboard.
yeah, that's got to be it.
What's the rest of the story?
Oh, let's see. Let me get it. Oh, there's more.
This is his whole foreign policy.
And he said, "I'll meet you outside." He was waiting for 3 guys in straight razors. Not a joke. There's a guy named Bill Wright, Mouse, the only white guy, and he did all the pulls. He was the mechanic. There used to be a chain that went across the deep end, and he cut off a 6-foot length of chain. So I walked out with the chain.
I feel like my 8-year-old could tell me stories that's more coherent than this so far.
Let's see if I can get some more here. Yeah.
In those days, you used to remember the straight razor. You'd bang them on the curb, get them rusty, put them in a rain barrel, get them rusty.
What?
What is going on? Joe, can we please elect him? Please, just for comedy.
Okay, that's all I got on this.
Corn Pop.
Oh, then
He was a bad dude.
Well, then there's a Colbert like skit with a guy in a corn suit walking.
Number one, what self-respecting neighborhood thug is going to have the nickname Corn Pop?
I can see Twinkie. I could see Big Boy. I could see Dorito Face, but not Corn Pop.
No, Corn Pop is Corn Pop is not a street cred name,
Right.
I mean, but I guess if you have enough hair pomade and a straight razor, that's be pulled out of
Maybe
a
he
rain barrel.
really liked the cereal, or like it didn't like blister the roof of his mouth or something.
Corn Pop, get your boys Apple Jacks and Cinnamon Crunch to come over here.
You think they had rambles with the elves from the
I don't know. They probably had a beef.
Snap,
with
Crackle, and Pop.
They probably had a beef with the porridge crew on the next street.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Good night.
This guy.
Well, Kamala Harris is out, so how about that?
He makes the apocalypse look more appealing. I'm sorry. The 4 horsemen of death, or they look a little more appealing.
Joe Biden's chest hair.
So somebody's going to have to make a Twitter account that's in Joe Biden's leg hair. There's probably already somebody that has one.
Oh, this is gold right here. I'm going to actually look it up.
I know there's Joe Biden's hair plugs.
Is it really?
So you have
Oh yeah, there is Joe Biden's
leg hair.
No, it's just like the name.
Does Corn Pop have a Twitter account?
No.
Maybe Corn Pop used to massage his legs with pomade and sit on his lap.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have Caswell with Cicada Studios. She's going to be our special guest here on Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. Hook, Line, and Heroes is a 501c3 nonprofit based in Charlotte, North Carolina. Founded in 2017 to show God's love and appreciation for our disabled and PTS military veterans. They provide professionally guided fishing trips to nominated veterans at no cost to the veteran. Hook, Line, and Heroes has provided over 30-plus trips around the Carolinas since their founding, from red fishing down in Charleston to striper fishing on Lake Norman, and even offshore fishing down in Florida. Each trip is a one-on-one experience with a member of the organization, aiming to provide a day of fun and relaxation on the water and begin a lifelong relationship with them. Each veteran leaves the day with a fully stocked tackle box, rod and reel, apparel, a Bible, and a daily devotion to kickstart their new hobby and build their relationship with God. Please take the time to visit their website at hooklineandheroes.org to hear and learn more about them. You can help in many ways by nominating a veteran you know through their website, join their monthly giving program, Healing Heroes, or send a one-time personal or corporate donation. You'll also be happy to hear that they are completely volunteer-run, and nearly 100% of your donations goes directly towards providing trips for the veterans. Be sure to follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn to see their veteran stories and to show your support. We're back, and if you don't know, you're listening to the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast.
What?
I know, it's a shocker. In studio, we've got Caswell Turner from Cicada Studios, right in beautiful downtown historic Concord, North Carolina, right next to the Creamery, right next to Red Hill Brewery. How do you get any work done?
That
That's my question.
Expensive to be in that area.
Well,
Yeah.
first of all, we're not there anymore.
Oh, you're not there anymore. Well,
Back up.
and scratch that.
Start over.
Fire our researcher.
Yeah. Where are you guys located now?
We're in Mount Pleasant, above Cafe Lentz and across from 73 in Maine. So we're right in downtown.
So you are in right across from 73 in Maine, right above a coffee shop. How do you get any work done?
Good question. I don't. No, I do. I just get in there and get focused. To walk right past the coffee shop. But
I've heard that coffee shop is good.
it is. I'm their number one patron.
Okay. Well, I
I'm
would
the
understand
reason
why.
they're still afloat. No, they're great. They've got some great specials, and I've been impressed. They just got off the ground, and they're doing a really good job. So
Yeah. So tell us about Cicada Studios. What do you guys do? We've seen your
Amazing murals.
amazing
Yeah.
murals, marketing. We've seen that through Red Hill, through Southern Strain. There's other things that you've done and been a part of. What all do you do at the studios?
So we do graphic design, marketing, brand identity, illustration, and murals. And we've just started doing a little bit of interior design and architectural renderings.
Oh, wow.
That's a really sidebar, but mainly graphic design is our core. So
Nice. And it's really good stuff. It's not Fiverr. Our logo was done on Fiverr. So if you want to redo it for, minimal cost, we'll talk about that.
yeah, I'd love to.
But you do really good stuff.
Thank you.
Like, how do you get inspired to do like Southern Strain or Red Hill? Because that's what I know. Like, how does it come to your head of the redesign of?
Well, to clarify, I didn't do Southern Strain's logo. A lot of people think I
Okay.
did it. I did the mural inside.
Okay, so you
I
painted
just
that?
painted them, yeah. But I
Okay.
did do Red Hills.
Okay,
hmm And I did Press and Porter downtown, Concord's Best Dressed Kids. And I think I'm forgetting one, but you can go on my website and see the rest
Yeah.
of them. But how do I get inspired?
yeah. Like, how does that process?
Oh, man.
Magic mushrooms.
Corn pop.
She gets in a fight with a street dog named Corn Pop.
Well, I mean, it's like how any artist works. A lot of what I do is grounded in a very artistic process because I started out as a painter. So I'm, I really dig in. I love doing logo design because people come to me and they have this whole journey that they've gone on to start their business, and they have their mission statement and everything they stand for. And I get to basically, I use all of that as the inspiration. And then I have to make it a metaphor visually as a symbol.
Wow.
So magic mushrooms.
Yes.
I'm on your website right now, kind of looking through some of your work.
Okay.
And it's interesting you say you have a painting background because it looks like you have a sketching background. To me.
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's because everything that's very like a line. There's a line. There's a theme. Like I can tell there's a certain style here happening. And it's like line art, really
Yeah.
complicated.
That's sort of come out. I love intricacy, and line work is fun for me.
So you design a logo. So somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, I've got a business that I want to start.
hmm
I don't have a logo. You can say, okay, I can help with that.
Mm-hmm.
And where do you start in the whole process of marketing to design, everything that you do? Like, what comes first? What's the first step in that process?
First step is you get a read on the person, which is a bit odd, but you got to figure out, okay, what style are they going to like? And if they're not telling me, if they don't know what style they like, you got to figure that out, because you can't hand them, you got to sort of be a little intuitive in that way. And sometimes you can't. And in that case, if I really have no idea what someone's inclined to, or they don't come to me with a strong vision, I've got to give them multiple options in several different styles. And so I'll give them a whole array and say, okay, what are you leaning towards? And then it's like we just follow the path. Like, you like this one? Okay. Now I'll take it and I'll do this, this, and this to it. It's in this style. And we just narrow it down from there.
Holy cow. So that sounds like a time-consuming process. If you have to, give them 5 options and then narrow that down and give them another 5 options and keep going. Like, it seems like a tedious process.
I think everyone probably has a vision in their head of what they're looking for. They just cannot get it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've talked to so many people, especially like restaurant design, where you know what you want, but you just can't.
You don't know until you see it sometimes.
Yeah,
and that's what's great. I've worked with a lot with designers, and I'm the one looking at all the designs, going, let's go this direction. You'll get like 7 or 8 sometimes in a sheet, and you go, okay, what flavor, what colors, or
but also stuff, people do have some people just have an idea, and they just want to be told what they want to see too. So that's probably where you come in, and handy with so many different types of options and stuff too.
That's one of the big lessons I've learned a couple years into this is sometimes people don't want a lot of options. They just want you to kind of help help them decide. So.
A lot of people don't even want as many options. They kind of wanted to be just kind of told. Is that?
Yeah, there comes a certain point where people, you can kind of tell, like, they just want to get it done, and they just want to use you and your expertise. And it's kind of refreshing when you do find that. But I think it's more fun when you have someone who has a really strong understanding, like when you're working with the owner of the business and they're so passionate about it, and you get to kind of like work it out of them. But sometimes you just got to slap something on the table and be like, this is what it's going to be.
Sure. Even just the intricacies and the details of Red Hill, because we know that is, I didn't even know there was like a little hill on the top of the
house,
the hop. Yeah. The house, the house on the hop, until, like it was pointed out, and then you look at it and you can't stop looking at it. And then every time you see it now, you're like, there's the house.
Exactly.
So to me, I really like that feature. Do you like putting like messages like that into the design, or is that something that you try to incorporate a lot? Or
oh yeah, absolutely. One of my favorite designs I've done is for a welding company called Flawtech America. You look at their symbol, it's an F and a T, and then there's also a welding mask looking into a sparks at the same time. It takes welders see it instantly, but some other people don't see it as quickly. But I think it's really important to add that level of symbolism in anytime you get a chance, because then that takes that makes a symbol classic. People tend to want to rebrand every 5 to 10 years, but I like to give people a symbol that can last them a really long time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if you think of timeless brands that probably have pretty much have had the same, logo, like Tiffany's.
Pepsi.
What's that?
Pepsi.
Pepsi.
I was going to go with Arby's, but I guess not.
Well, Arby's has a classic logo pretty much. I mean, they changed.
They had the hat for so long. Then they moved to the big white Comic Sans.
But like FedEx, FedEx has, their timeless logo, and UPS is, UPS just rebranded not too long ago, but FedEx has had a timeless one. But Tiffany's, like I should say every woman, because that's sexist, but like, women like my wife and kids, they look forward to something like that from Tiffany's. I mean, they want that classic style and packaging and this and that. So I like timeless stuff. I like timeless music, like something that can last the era, like there's nothing like an Al Green or a Sam Cooke song that can last for the next 100 years.
You must be a sucker for those TV infomercials. Timeless classic.
Do those even come on anymore?
I don't know. That's the last time I watched TV.
But wasn't there like an infomercial that had like all just the hits of the timeless
the 70s?
days?
Yeah,
the
the decade.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. You said timeless, and that's immediately came to my brain.
Those are great commercials. By
Billy
the way.
Mays here. How important is a logo to a business? Like, I mean, you can have Bud's Donut Shop or whatever, and have a donut. But you were saying like something that has the iconic logo, like that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine that would be really important for businesses just starting out, so that people see that brand and that image and always associate them with whatever product that they're pushing out.
Yeah.
Is it that important, or can you just say Bud's Donut Shop?
I think it depends. I think sometimes people rush to get a sort of corporate looking logo sometimes too quickly, when really the sort of sidestep for that would be more important. I think as long as it's a true reflection of what the business owner's vision is, it's fine. I mean, if it's them writing their name on a napkin and somehow putting it up on the wall, I think that is just as important and good as a corporate level, masterfully designed logo. But yes, I do think it's important. I think it's important from a marketing standpoint to have a symbol that customers can associate.
Well, I think you have something called like conceptual integrity that goes along with branding, because you want something that speaks true. Like you see the most successful businesses and chains out there. Just talk about the restaurant industry because it's kind of an odd bird. But if you see a symbol, you expect, you can look at a restaurant symbol. Like for example, we'll take Chick-fil-A. Okay, you have Chick-fil-A symbol. You know that consistency is going to be the same as it is here, Roanoke, Virginia, Salinas, California, if they have Chick-fil-A's there. But you expect the same thing. You expect the same hospitality. You expect unlimited sauces, whatever, clean bathrooms, some old lady handling chicken nugget samples, whatever. You expect that. So but I think that symbol is what brands it. People recognize it.
So you design the logo. How long does that process usually take for if somebody walks into the studio and said, hey, let's start the process? How long does that usually take?
It depends on what type of logo they want. Sometimes people just want me to throw text together and they want to do something really quick. I'm doing a full, intense corporate style logo. It's going to take about 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Because there's a lot of back and forth between, and it, could drag on another week or two depending on how much the owner or whoever I'm working with needs more drafts. But 2 to 4 weeks is about your time.
Do you really like Bleeding Cowboy font?
Bleeding Cowboy?
Have you seen that Bleeding Cowboy font?
I haven't.
No, God, you have to look it up.
Cowboy.
Yeah, it is the most overused font of
Is it the one with I think I know what you're talking about.
No, I guess producer Brian will find it here. It is tragic. People still use it.
I'm trying to go.
Yeah. I thought it was that one. Mm-hmm.
I've seen it on so many things.
Yeah.
What's your least favorite font that you wish would just die?
Well, Comic Sans, that's sort of
Yep.
I actually, I don't hate it with such a passion. I would say anything from Microsoft. Anything I can point out, like if I can look at something and say that's papyrus, it's like
Arial black.
Well, the little factory symbols that you got in your first, Microsoft whatever to design your own business cards. You remember the pyramid font or pyramid little
the wingdings.
I love the wingdings.
I don't know. It was
it was all symbols.
It was all I know it was a pyramid, and that was when you design everybody thought it was cool that you could buy the printer paper that you could the perforated things that you make on business cards. Yeah, you're making business cards. Well, there was a symbol, it was a pyramid.
Print Shop Pro.
Yeah, something and anyway, somebody actually showed up to my shop the other day and wanted me to take them serious with a pyramid on their business card.
Was it come on. The pyramid and it had different colors in it?
Well, no, what is pre-color paper or pre-color printers, but
Right.
it did have some etchings in the pyramid. So
Hey, buddy, that sounds
professional.
fantastic. Yeah.
I think his name was Corn Pop. So,
Did you see the perforated lines on the edge of the card?
yeah.
'Cause that's
Ooh.
fantastic.
I would say Kurtz MT is one that I see a lot. Are y'all familiar with that one?
yeah.
I'm not.
That one drives me crazy. I see it all over the place.
So what I hear you say is Times New Roman is not the worst.
Nah, no. Classic.
Classic. It's
It
tradition.
is.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, 2 to 4 weeks. I mean, that's quick. To me, that would be like a lot of pressure to design a logo. But for you, it's just letting the artists just come out into that logo.
Yeah, that's actually kind of a long period of time. I mean, there's so much.
A lot of waiting in there, right? Because working with business people, you'll send an email. Here's your proof,
Yeah,
and then they'll get back to you 18 hours later
exactly.
at the end of the business day.
That's why I say that,
Yeah.
because generally people take time to think about it.
So there's a lot of passive time in there where you're just like,
Sure.
okay, we're waiting for him to email me back.
No, and I get, but to me, to do like a good logo, I would feel like 2 weeks is just super fast. Of me trying to draw something out.
Yeah, I spent 2 whole days playing with mine first. Yeah, just on my own.
Yeah.
doing it.
I don't know. That just seems quick. But I mean, for a professional, I guess you just kind of let it.
Well, you're doing it all the time. It's like anything.
Yeah.
You know, you get used to it.
How long have you been doing Cicada Studios?
About 3 years now.
Okay, so you've got. I mean, you've kind of got it down. You got it like you like it. You ready to roll?
Well, it's always evolving. It's definitely not where I want it to be yet.
Mm.
But,
So what'd you do before Cicadas?
well, I was in school.
Okay.
I was at North Carolina State.
So you went straight from school, starting a graphic design business.
Mhm.
Wow, that's cool.
How was that process? Like, was that terrifying to leave school and be like, oh, I'm going to start my own business?
Well, I was sort of forced into it. Like a lot of my peers, I graduated and had sort of a mountain of student loan debt. And I, didn't have a lot of flexibility or big job offers. And so I had to kind of suck it up and move home. And because I grew up in Concord, and it was just sort of a natural progression.
Yeah.
Like I can do this. And
That's cool. Why did you move from Concord to Mount Pleasant? Just curious.
well, I just started working with 73 in Maine
Mm,
over there
mhm.
and saw that they had some offices available,
Nice.
and I just took a chance on it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Awesome.
I love 73 in Maine.
Yeah.
They've got a great bourbon bar, for one, if anybody was interested in that. Their brunch. Hey, bud, have you had their brunch? Oh, you're not allowed to have brunch, are you?
Mm.
Like a buffet. Dude, it is legit.
But when do people eat brunch? Is that a Sunday thing?
It's a Sunday,
Mhm.
yeah. But it's an all-you-can-eat buffet.
I think brunch should be, you can do brunch anytime.
You can, but I'm talking about 73 in
Yeah.
Maine's brunch.
They have it on Sundays from
Brunch.
10:30 to 2.
And Mount Pleasant, really, there's a lot of stuff going into Mount Pleasant to kind of boost that whole downtown area up. I mean, obviously 73 in Maine, but
You can't really call it a downtown area. That's like 2 caution lights.
Yeah.
but it's cool.
It is a neat
you
little,
know?
it is a neat little town there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you go to get the design, then you can do marketing,
Mhm.
right? What does that all entail?
Just mainly social media. That's mainly our marketing. We don't do a ton of like geo tagging or geofencing and things of that nature. We're just helping people with more. Well, I have a lot of fun kind of thinking of alternative marketing strategies.
Okay.
So we do social media, but then I kind of help them look at it, their business, and say, okay, what are some different approaches that we could take outside of just social media to get your message out?
Oh, wow. What would be an example of an alternative?
Events you could host.
Okay.
Things like
Okay.
Make a podcast.
Make a
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Or don't make one.
Or make one and struggle. And then, so what else? So there's design, marketing, and what were the other things that you said that you did?
illustration and murals.
Okay, so what's an illustration? I'm assuming that's like for a book.
Well, yeah. So I recently brought a guy onto my team who's doing character design.
Hmm.
So we oddly, have people come to us and they need character designed for like, whether it's something as small as like a t-shirt or they're writing a book and they need character illustrations.
Okay.
That's something I really want to nourish is I love working with authors. So any chance to do any sort of illustration for a book is so much fun.
That should be our new logo, just the illustration of three of us.
I'd be down with that.
I want an illustration of Biggin carrying a bourbon barrel around, like walking around with a giant barrel under his arm.
I want to have an illustration
hard hat.
of Biggin getting perineum sun.
No, we don't. Have you heard of this?
No. What?
Perineum
Josh
sunbathing.
Brolin just asked, or just Twitter, Instagram, the dangers of perineum.
What is perineum?
Butthole.
How do you spell that?
Perineum, I think.
Is that like bleaching? I know people were bleaching.
No, this is actually going out in your backyard, slapping on some SPF 0
or not.
And just
you're going to show me a picture?
Yeah. I don't think that's appropriate, Teresa Brian.
We're full service here.
It's a family show.
Oh man.
Yeah. So just go sit on the back deck and
just let her eat.
Yeah.
That's called yoga.
But evidently he got a sunburn in that area, and that it was really bad. So how about you?
I'm pretty confident to say that I don't care if I live to be 80. I will never have a sunburn down there.
That's 100%
And
accurate.
this is where the conversation went off the edge. So.
And then murals. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're doing the Avett brother mural. Is that right? Now, where's that going?
So it's going on 25 Union Street North, that building where Local 25 is. So it's the wall between the library and Local 25.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Let me correct you. It's not the library. It's the library.
Library.
Yeah.
The library.
Yeah, that's how you say it.
Okay, so murals like fascinate me because like, what if you like drop a paintbrush or something? And it's like,
Well, sometimes you do.
oh, what's up, Blue Street? I didn't mean that to be there. I mean,
Yeah.
you have like dinner and you just brick wall.
Well, to clarify, luckily with this one, I'm not hand painting it.
Okay.
It's a vinyl installation.
Wow.
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 So what does that mean?
What's the size of the vinyl sheets?
I don't know. I think there's like 5 different strips. I don't know the exact dimensions.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah, I want to see that machine.
Well, it's a bunch of guys up on a cherry picker, with a heat gun, gluing it to
like
the wall.
wrapping it to the thing. Yeah.
Like the billboards on the interstate kind of deal almost.
Yeah.
Out of a wall. Huh.
Yeah.
Hopefully, hopefully it'll last a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's going to turn.
That's an exciting project. And, for our listeners outside of North Carolina, and also if you're not a fan of music, but Avett Brothers are kind of our North Carolina hometown heroes in this area. And they, I like a lot of their older stuff, but they got some great music.
And some timeless classics.
Yeah. I think they just got, last year they got inducted in the North Carolina Music Hall of Fame, I believe.
I didn't know it was a thing.
I don't know.
Oh yeah. There's a
Everyone has a Hall of Fame. I know,
there's a tennis
Yes.
Hall of Fame.
I'm waiting for the podcast Hall of Fame.
We could just make our own Southern Fried Hall of Fame.
There's our new show.
There's an idea right there.
Hey, how about you? So this is 5 strips of, I guess, vinyl that is just going to be
Glued to the wall.
glued to the wall.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
It'd be my
looking.
luck if we ever did one of those. The seam would come right through my face. It'd look all
You
distorted.
look like the Joker.
Yeah,
Or like the
Two-Face.
I'd
Yeah.
have one guy who just went to the optometrist and had his eyes dilated, so the seam would be way off. Like Freddy Krueger up there.
Yeah.
How did this come to be? Like, how did you get involved in the project? And then how did you come up with the idea of this design?
Magic mushrooms.
You're right.
I'm telling you, it does look like it. Well, you go ahead and answer. I'll tell you what I think.
Okay, so there's a building across the street that the owner of that approached me and wanted a mural for the outside of his building. And this is last summer. And he left it completely open-ended. He was like, do whatever you want, which is like,
wow.
I just want a mural on the side of my building. So that was a kind of a dream project for me. And I felt that with it being at the entrance to downtown And the Avett brothers are from Concord. It just seemed like something that would have a lot of meaning for Concordians.
That's beautiful, yeah.
So, yeah, I was like, it's got to be the Avett brothers.
Well, number one, I commend you for not using Josh Brolin sunbathing as perineum. That would have been highly embarrassing for Concord. The use of colors, though, that's what's very impressive. And I'm not trying to draw, a parallel, but it kind of reminds me of like some of the. You ever seen what was the Sergeant Pepper's?
Oh yeah,
video.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the color action. It reminds me of the Beatles.
Sure,
Sergeant
the Yellow
Pepper.
Submarine.
Yeah,
cartoon.
It kind of. I mean,
it looks like the 70s.
I don't know. It
looks like the 70s.
But it looks like a modern interpretation.
Sure.
Of like 70s artwork with all the colors and stuff. So I think it's great.
That's funny because my dad has that exact poster
at
his house. So maybe I subconsciously got in there.
I could see your dad having that poster up there. So
I am a little disappointed there's not a Southern Fried logo somewhere.
Well, what
there.
you do is you take your sticker.
We'll get our stickers.
And you can put it up there after you
Do not do that. Do not do that.
It could be. You guys just got to donate to the mural.
There you go.
Sponsored by. Where did the name Cicada Studios come from?
Oh, well,
Cicada.
Yeah.
It's the number 4 Mexican.
Please say it correctly.
Is it really cicada?
No.
You scared me.
No, it's cicada, actually. Everyone says it wrong. No, it's cicada. It's cicada.
Seriously, she's got me. I don't know what I'm doing. What's my name?
Cicada sounds like that Mexican drink called coquita.
Okay.
Anyway.
Cicada.
Okay, so I said it.
Well, when I graduated, I felt there's a big push for designers to move out to the West Coast, and especially animators.
Go broke.
Yeah. I'm technically an animator and wanted to pursue that, but I didn't want to move out to California. And so I felt creating a business that was centered around something that's a very Southern concept, which cicadas are, you can find them all over the U.S., but I feel like it's a very Southern vibe. Was a statement saying, I like North Carolina, and I think you can grow something great wherever you are if you put enough passion into it. So I've always loved cicadas. I love the metaphor of their lifespan. I don't know if y'all are aware, but they live underground for up to 17 years, and then they come out in these big droves.
We just had a couple years back, we just had a big, like a certain cicada returned. It was like a once in every life cycle or whatever. So
yeah, you can go online and see they have all the different groups tracked and like when they're going to come up out of the ground.
Oh, wow.
So I love the metaphor of like, being underground and taking your time developing your skills and then choosing the right moment to emerge. And then it's also a great metaphor in that it's this tiny little creature producing a sound that can be heard, up to a mile away.
Oh, they're like 3 inches long.
Yeah, but the sound is...
When you're riding your bike, it won't hit you in the face in the middle of summertime.
I think they're just hanging out in trees making noise, and you're like, I can't get to sleep.
Yeah.
What was the moment where you feel like you emerged out of that and started making music?
Well, okay.
That was deep.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's what I do.
It's like we just did a devotional or something.
Well, I went to college and had this sort of classic existential crisis, sort of figuring out who I was and realizing like, oh, there's 50 artists who are just as good as me, all in the same room. So that's really hard going into that, and it was a really challenging environment. So I sort of felt out, that was sort of my underground period. And then that first year out of college where I was able to get back home and back to my roots, I felt like, which I had the opportunity to travel a little bit in college and really realized that I'm someone who loves North Carolina, and really loves being with my family. I'm very connected to them. So coming back to that and having that support, and then being in a place where I felt like I was actually making an impression, because there's not a ton of people doing what I'm doing. There are, but I'm doing it in a sort of different way. That's where I felt like I was sort of starting to step out and be
Nice.
the singing cicada.
What's the next dream that you have for yourself and for the studio?
Well, there's a lot. I didn't even touch on this, but I've been working on opening a coffee shop called Cicada Coffee since I graduated as well, which is ties into the cicada vibe as well. But so that is something that's been in the works for a few years. We've been in and out of different locations, and so that's on the way. And but I also, as I've said, I'm an animator originally, so this is steering towards becoming an animation studio eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that takes a long time to build up the resources to develop, which is why I started doing graphic design. I'm not a technically trained graphic designer, which is why a lot of my logos that you see are a little bit of an alternative style. They have a very illustrative spin to them. Because I kind of taught myself in a way. I wasn't in the graphic design department at NC State, but I was in the animation department. So yeah, we're going towards an animation studio. That's way down the line though, because it takes such a long time to build up. But we're starting with digital comics. That's why I've brought my character designer onto the team.
Nice.
And eventually we'll start putting out short films.
Wow.
But that's going to be more of sort of the fun side. It's not exactly, you don't get those projects unless you have the equipment. So it takes a little bit of time to build up.
I remember we had John Caparulo on, and he created his own cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just saying that it was so expensive to get those done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he had no idea. And evidently they are really expensive to put on. Had no idea. But I guess it's the equipment and everything else.
Yeah, the days of taking a index pad and just drawing a character, slowly moving and flipping through it. Yeah. it's changed.
Claymation.
Yeah.
I can do that all day, every day.
Yeah.
Or a little bird that flies.
Yeah.
It just has two wings. It looks like, mine looks like a McDonald's logo flying through the air.
Well, that was usually my sixth grade period in high school because I had geometry and I didn't understand what shapes were and the purposes of measuring them. So I would just draw and doodle. Of course, my grades reflected that.
Sure.
But, I made some pretty cool cartoons.
That was every class for me except lunch. I took that seriously. Everything else I didn't understand, especially algebra. When you started trying to get numbers out of letters, I was like, I'm out. This is way too complicated.
Yeah, when you start adding alphabet and then, having to add up in cursive, that was not good.
Y'all, what are you thinking? Wow, so that's really cool. So animation is going to be down the line for you guys. So the coffee studio, where is that up and running?
I can't say anything about it.
Okay. All right.
Yet.
Legally, you cannot say anything.
It's underground.
It's waiting for its moment.
Thank you for saying that because I'm actually launching something called Cicada Underground.
Ooh.
Oh, what is that?
So it's not launched yet.
Oh,
but
you can't talk about it?
I can talk about it, sort of. It'll basically be a patron thing where you can go on and support us and you get access to the Cicada podcast, which is starting soon, and other fun back end, basically like a backstage pass to Cicada News. So.
Cool.
Yeah, so I'm going to need you to market for us.
You're a busy young lady. I'm just impressed.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Like, how do you juggle everything?
I don't.
Oh.
No, I just have a great support system. I've got a mom and a dad who are very entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
What's the word?
Words are hard.
Paradigm.
They just have that mind. I have a great source of people where I can go to and be like, how do you do this? And also the internet. You can just Google it.
I think that's probably the biggest thing for an entrepreneur is time management.
Yeah.
Especially when you have a brain like yours where you're thinking, constantly think. You don't even have a project completed, but you're probably thinking of the next 10 that just popped up in your head. So it's very tough for time management.
And I think finding that discipline as well to wrap things up and not open up a new project is very important for my health and sanity.
Interesting. I spend way too much time on Candy Crush. That's the problem.
Mine is Netflix. So I should have never installed a TV at the shop.
Oh no.
Yeah. So, any aspiring words to anybody out there looking to, there's a lot of people that have jobs they go to, they're miserable, they dread, they hate it. We talked earlier about you're on leave and then you dread going back, but you're trying to use up these days and the
Right.
constant struggle back. I mean, this is one thing I love about economy is that if you have a talent in something, you may not be great at it, but you may be able to offer a service, that you can build up. So any inspiring words that you would have to anybody out there that's, that has an entrepreneurial spirit, may be scared to take the leap, but has some type of discernible skills. Doesn't have to necessarily be in graphic design or animation, but, any inspiring words or direction that you would coach them into doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think any artist and any entrepreneur is, when you're taking that step out, it's, for me, the bravest thing that anyone can do, because you're staring into the black and you're defining it. Instead of saying the black is nothing, you're saying, actually, the black is this painting, or it's this,
You define your success, I guess. Yeah.
You're defining it, and that's extremely brave and noble in my opinion. Instead of just saying that's nothing, you're creating order out of the chaos. And I think that's really important for people to do. So I would say step up and make it happen.
I think the economy can realize that too, where if you offer some type of whatever it could be, you could be the best cookie designer, or you could be a graphic designer, or you could someone who cleans houses. I think the economy will react to that because there's always a void out there for it. There's always going to be a void for what you do, and your work will set yourself aside, and the money will come. I mean, it may not be easy at first. You may have to work 2 jobs. A lot of people do that. A lot of people, have to go work their 9 to 5, but then have something that they're great on inside. And they do that at night. There may be a lot of, ramen noodle bowls heated up in the microwave because you got to work. But I think if people pursue their dreams, if you worked half as hard for yourself as you do for your employer, I think you can be pretty successful. But I also think you will redefine success pretty quickly. Like, you may have a salary job making $60,000 a year, but if you go out for your work on yourself and you only clear 30 the first year and you're a hell of a lot happier, I think that success translates more than just dollars in the bank account a lot of times.
Yeah.
The other thing too that's great about what you do is anybody in the world can contact you to design their logo, and you don't have to be in, Mount Pleasant at all to do that.
Yeah.
We have listeners literally around the world. So if they want to get a logo, they want to be marketed by you, how do they get in contact with you?
They can reach out on my website, cicadastudios.net, or find me on social media and send us a direct message through Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
Cicada is spelled Cicada, by the way, just in case anybody doesn't have the spell check.
Yeah, link will be in the show notes.
But also, she part of her new underground is that she will come design you a banana duct tape wall. And she's selling those for $140,000 right now. So,
well, I'm not
limited edition.
I'm not trying to spin my own thing, but I'll sell you one for $100,000.
Well, we're also coming out with our own one. We're just going to throw biscuits and gravy on the wall.
Oh, that's a good
But we're
idea.
we're $100,000.
Yeah.
And we're limiting to only 200 limited edition.
The first 200 people.
That's it.
And
That's
we'll bring the biscuit and gravy. You'll make it.
Yep, we'll make it.
You'll throw. Producer Brian and I will throw it on the wall.
Actually, we're just going to make a kiddie pool of it, and producer Brian's going to actually dive into it and then jump against the wall. And so that's what I'm saying.
I'm
a
down.
limited edition. It'll all be
for that.
unique pattern.
Yeah.
So if you want Cicada Underground, she'll do the duct tape bananas to the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And
you want my gravy outline on the wall?
Yeah.
Let us know.
So there we go. Just contact us.
Caswell, thanks for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. You do fantastic work. I can't express how much just the designs, the logos, all that really is cool. And I'm not just saying that. I'm not trying to blow smoke.
Very unique. I've never
It's
seen. This is so cool. Like, I've looked at a lot of graphic design and this stuff. It's completely. It looks different than anything else I've seen before.
Wow.
It definitely, it's a style. I could probably, if I see another piece, I'll go, okay, that was her.
Well, that means a lot.
Yeah, but
Well,
there's
but
definitely
you gravitate towards towards artists, and you find value in it. I mean, some people may see the classics and relate to that. Just like I have an artist out of San Francisco that I love. His name's Michael Fleur, and he has a unique style that is his style. And just like you have yours, I don't think anybody could duplicate that. If you take the Avett Brothers picture that I'm looking at upside down, I don't think anybody could reduplicate that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even China with their loose intellectual laws, they could not reduplicate that. So
yeah,
just one-offs.
That means a lot, guys. Thank you.
Yeah,
no doubt. Please check her out. Look at the show notes, and if you want a logo, if you want to be marketed, if you want illustrations, we can maybe hook Jeremy White up with you for his next book deal that he's coming out with. Please check her out. She's fantastic. So thanks again for coming on.
Thank you.
Thanks once again for tuning into the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. You can find us pretty much anywhere you listen to your podcast. Just go there, hit like, subscribe. Subscribe.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a library. But anyway, just go there, hit that review button. Write us a simple little review. It could be just, Mojo sucks. I don't care. Just write
that'd
something.
Be great.
Yeah. Or the Mojo's the worst. That'd be great. I really enjoy it.
I really appreciate that.
It brings me back to my early childhood. So just do that. You can go to our Facebook page at Southern Fried Philosophy. Also our website at southernfriedphilosophy.com. We do have playable links on there. Some stupid, silly news, whatever can lighten up your day. I probably wouldn't go on your laptop while you're driving.
That's probably not a good idea.
Yeah, I'll just use it through your phone.
Sure.
Also, as I try to mention every month or every time we're together in a show, I can't talk right now. I'll get some magic mushrooms or something. But if you're not an organ donor, please go ahead and register for that. There's so many ways. You can go on your Apple phone. You can go to your DMV, which I really despise even sending you there. But you know what? Just become a donor, because you can save someone's life just like someone saved mine. So appreciate that, and appreciate you guys tuning in every week.
And also, when you listen to this episode, it'll be December 9th. It'll be on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
That's my birthday. If you go out to my Facebook page, there will be a link for a fundraiser that we're doing for Amazing Grace Advocacy. So if you want to donate, throw a couple of dollars their way, we would appreciate it as well.
You can catch Amazing Grace on our podcast, several episodes there.
Last episode.
Last week, yep.
We also, I'm talking the early one, too.
Way back in the old days.
Back in the old school days.
Yeah, check them out there.
It's like when we look like a boy band.
Now we're just bringing the traditional hits.
There you go.
Thanks again for tuning in, and as always, keep looking up. You're listening to the SFP Radio Network.